Hi, you guys. It's late. I've got to do this recap and head to my hotel. But I have some really fun gossip for you for tonight's Vanderpump Rules gossip dump and recap. I'm so excited. So let's get started with this mystery that continues in Vanderpump land. All right. So you remember that really weird braid necklace I brought up that Brock was wearing when they were like in Lake Tahoe on that, I don't know, like ski lift thing. And I was like, why the hell is he wearing hair in a braid around his neck that's like burnt? Well, this hair has shown up again, but in tonight's episode, it's on James Kennedy. It's on Brock again. There he is at the beach. He's got that braid on his neck. This can't be his hair. I mean, he can't be handing out his hair to everybody, could he? And Tom Sandoval has it on. Look at it, it's on his candy necklace. So I am like, what is going on? Because this cannot be Brock's hair. We were sure that it was like Brock's hair, and when he, cut his hair, it was like some moment for him, and he was wearing it on his neck, and we kind of left it at that. But now we have every character on the show with this braid of hair, like human hair around their neck. And I've got to know what this is. And why does everyone have one except the girls? I mean, not that any of the girls would ever wear this like really weird piece of hair around their neck, but I've got to know. So you guys, what is this thing they're wearing on their neck? What is it? So Tom Sandoval did an interview for Bravo where he said that he wishes he had just pulled the trigger on the breakup, but he felt like it was just going to be all so painful to go through that he didn't have like the strength to do it, and that's why he didn't do it, and that's really it, and who cares? Okay, moving on. Meanwhile, he made a debut with the girl he's gotten more serious with. We saw her leaving his house a few times, or I should say Ariana in his house a few times in the morning. And the other day, he released this on his social media and then I think deleted it, but this is what it was. I may have to remove the music, but it's music about like, if I had been with you, I would have saved time and saved face. Like he's trying to say this girl is like the one again, whatever. But I may have to swap out the music or mute it. So forgive me if it gets quiet for a second. To me, and this is purely my opinion, it's got I'm on something vibes, probably E. Just saying. Did you see the facial expressions? I've been there, It takes one to know one. I recognize it in him. So on tonight's show, we find out that Tom Sandoval is not too happy with his assistant Anne because she's trying to interview for a job with Ariana Madix because she'd like to do things more administrative and less like housekeeper and nanny to Tom Sandoval. And Anne is a comedian and an improv expert and actress, and Tom was good about letting her go to auditions and things while she was his assistant. But there were things that weren't great working for Tom. Tom did send her home for a few days when he found out that she was interviewing for a job with Ariana. Ariana did not hire Anne. Maybe now that she's bought a new house and is moving into it, she might. But at the time that Vanderpump Rules was shooting the show, she did not hire her. And it comes out in tonight's show that maybe someday she will. Now, this is something I noticed in tonight's show, a reoccurring theme. There seems to be a lot of people that really appreciate and respect Ariana, like the designer of the house and like Anne, but don't seem to respect Tom. And so I have to trust that all these people would not go on a national show, they know it's going to go on national TV, and throw Tom under the bus if they thought Tom was genuinely a great guy, even if he cheated on Ariana and had a weak moment. The fact that all of these people find it so easy to say bad things about him, and they know him and have done business with him, tells me that there's some really underlying truth to Tom Sandoval, besides being a cheat and a douche for cheating in the way that he did, which was horrific. Isn't that great of a person? Because these people have no problem doing it. Now, let me read you something that Anne said about Ariana. So remember, Anne does not work for Ariana. So she's saying this to Us Weekly this week about her, and just on her own. I just love her. She's just like the most fun to talk to. She's like a feminist. She's with it. She has the same ethics and morals as me. She's like someone I look up to in the queer community as a queer woman myself, Anne explained on Wednesday, March 27th's episode of her We Signed an NDA podcast. She's all about therapy and getting better, and I'm all about that too. She continued, also, we just have the best time when we hang out, lots of giggles and lots of laughs. She has the same sense of humor. She was my work friend. I look forward to hanging out, you know, when you have your work wife or the person that you're like, oh my God, like this is who I want to eat lunch with. So John Mayer came out this week and denied that he hooked up with Sheena Shea, as she said on Vanderpump Rules, but I'm hoping you watched my video about her story from her early 20s of hooking up with John Mayer. And I'll tell you, from watching that, I believe Sheena Shea. And so will you once you watch that video. Because this is not Sheena Shea now on Vanderpump Rules telling the story where she could get some sort of clout and storyline from it. What I capture in my video, thanks to the influencers that found it and that I honor in that video, she's in her early 20s telling it like it's happening right then and there. So John Mayer's full of crap, and shame on him. It's so John Mayer to deny, right, a hookup story that is so obviously the truth. Great music, though, but geez, John, everyone knows you're a hoe. By the way, Ariana and Daniel Way went to San Francisco with the rest of the cast on a group trip. They also shot the reunion. They've been showing their outfits off online. And it would appear that Ariana Madix is not the only one who did really well off Scandival. Lala Kent bought another home. This one's $3.1 million. She still has her Palm Springs house, which she lives next door to Brock Davies and Sheena Shea in, where they have like a threesome families kind of thing. Shoot that poison arrow through my heart. There's Lisa Vanderpump. You know, she was in 3 80s music videos. Have you guys watched them? It's hilarious. She always plays a rich bitch who doesn't have time for any of the men rock stars in the videos. True to life. I think one of them was shot in one of their bars, too. Maybe they did a barter. Like Lisa Vanderpump got to be in the video if they gave the bar for free for the rock star to shoot in. Oh, one last thing before we get into the recap. We found out why Ariana Madix and her brother are not on good terms. It isn't because of Tom Sandoval. It's because Ariana Madix was passive-aggressive to her brother's new fiance, and he felt some sort of way about it, and he was trying to kind of talk to her about it, but she wasn't really reaching out back. And so they're in a difficult spell right now because Ariana maybe doesn't approve of his fiance and he loves his fiance and she's trying to be like protective big sis, but he's like, I don't want you to be protective big sis. I just want you to like who I like. And so it's causing tension, but it doesn't have to do with Sandoval. I bring it up because the fans were shocked to see that it was Sheena Shea who hosted this engagement moment for Ariana Madix's brother and not Ariana Madix. And they were like, why is Sheena Shea posting this on her Instagram of Ariana's brother? Why isn't Ariana doing it? Why is it happening at her house? Like, it's all very strange. And the fans were like, why is Sheena Shea doing this? And well, it turns out that Ariana isn't really in support of this engagement. So now you know. Now, why Sheena is, I don't know. Okay, now let's do the recap. One of the weirdest parts of tonight's episode I want to point out to you is that Tom Schwartz was wondering why Katie slept with his best friend Max. But like, isn't the bigger question why your best friend Max slept with Katie? I kind of feel like Tom Schwartz needs like better friends, right? Anyway, this is what Max told Tom. I don't know if I told you this. He actually called me 5 days later after he slept with Katie. I could tell he felt so uncomfortable, Schwartz said. Well, let's hope so. Then we went to get lunch and he was like, dude, I'm so sorry. It was literally effing alcohol in proximity. First of all, what a douche for saying that. Like, just what a douche. Like, what guy doesn't own it? Like, yeah, you know, Katie looked hot and I've been flirting with her for years and I was kind of jealous that you were with her because you're a big Vanderpump Rules star and I'm not, and that was your wife, and I kind of wish I was you a lot. So I slept with Katie because I found her really attractive and I guess I was a little bit jealous. Like, why wouldn't he say the truth instead of this lame thing? Like, he's so hot, like he's so good that it was all, like it was all her. And he just lost himself in the alcohol. But yet he was texting Brock and Sheena Shea the whole time. Give me an effing break. This guy, oh my gosh. This guy needs to go on the show just so we can hate on him. I mean, this really does sum it up. Oh God, he's this guy. You know this one, this type, this LA type, who's probably now in New York, but still this guy. The people who know. I hate to put him in that cheesy LA guy that thinks his SHIT doesn't stink box, but it does. But I have to because, he knows what it is to stereotype. I think he was fired over it. So I'll breeze through the beginning of the show because we covered a lot of it in the gossip. James Kennedy helps Lala Kent host a water tasting at his house. And she's bringing in all these wonderful waters for everybody to taste with a really entertaining water sommelier, I guess. And he brings out, which I loved, $1,000 bottle of water, which of course is not worth $1,000, but it's just so fun to see these kind of over-the-top things on the shows. Thank you to that sommelier for doing that because, 25,000. Okay. Anyway, so we see this sort of scene, and really what this is the beginning of us seeing Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney about to fight over their relationship again on the basis that Katie slept with Max Boyens, Tom Schwartz's best friend. And of course, Tom Schwartz's position is, how could you choose my best friend? And Katie's position is, you breached our agreement in the first place, so I shouldn't care. And you cheated on me several times in our relationship, which I didn't. And so now that we're not together, me sleeping with your best friend isn't really that bad. And payback is a bitch, karma. Okay? And I don't actually feel that bad about it because you've done, you were the one who did this first. And Schwartz uses it as a way to say, look, you're not the good person you pretend to be. You're as low as me, and we're the same. And Katie's like, no, I'm not letting you do that to me. What I did was different. And the big question I felt like during this whole scene is, where's Max in all this, right? So also happening at this big event is that Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix finally go head to head. And Ariana Madix is triggered because Tom Sandoval, again, did something very irresponsible with the dog. And the dog gets hurt in it. And she spends $6,000 on a vet bill to fix the dog. So it's triggering for Ariana because it's her dog. And Tom Sandoval is like, don't exaggerate the situation. The dog is fine. And he's kind of mitigating. And he only cares about one thing, which I don't know if you guys caught. It's all about this damn email about the house. This is what actually I believe triggers Ariana. Because being that I know what it's like to be on a reality show, Ariana just wants Tom Sandoval to say, I'm sorry. And all Tom Sandoval's worried about is his house that he wants away from Ariana. And she knows it. And he's pretending to care about all this stuff. It's all hubbub. He wants a show paycheck, he wants their house, and he wants it the way he wants it. And this infuriates Ariana. And she's trying to show the audience, no, it's about this. This is the truth. And against the editors who are going to try to help Tom out of being the villain this season. And she knows it. So she's like, it's just infuriating. She's so angry. And she's trying to keep it together, you know, because she's probably thinking too, brand deals and how do I show how I really feel but not go too far. Like, it's really hard. And I have to tell you, it was great. They did a really good job. She did a really good job. Now, the fans are really frustrated with Brock Davies because in every opportunity, he's stepping in front of Sheena Shea and making himself the villain and stirring the pot by asking the difficult questions to everybody and making them talk about things they don't want to talk about because he's now learned the game. And he knows that if he asks the questions that the producers want answered, he'll get screen time and he'll get a paycheck. And right now, as we found out in tonight's show, he has no other job. So it's really important to him to try to stay front and center and get on that damn edit, okay, and get paid. So that's what's going on. But a lot of the fans are finding it difficult to watch because he's kind of a hypocrite, knowing his larger situation. You know, when he says, like, I don't understand why Ariana is so angry about Tom Sandoval cheating on her and, you know, this and that. He's known to have had a temper in his past, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody is trying to push Ariana to talk about it and to get over Tom Sandoval, and she just doesn't want to get over it. And I don't blame her at all because this was shot pretty, soon after this all happened. Now, some people are saying she knew and she's milking it, and I hear that. But if she isn't, I don't blame her at all for feeling the way she is. I would struggle in this situation to not physically hurt him. You know what I mean? Be that angry because of the betrayal level. It's just over the top with someone that, a co-star in your own house, the disrespect. It's scathing. It's horrific. So anyway, the next day, everybody goes to the beach and we see, the beach that they always fight on, and Tom Sandoval and Ariana are throwing digs at each other, and Tom's all about the damn house still, and Ariana's like, kind of like, I've had it with you, just stop already, and nobody's sticking up for Ariana, and everybody's trying to help Tom Sandoval, especially on the man side, and she just loses it. She's like, could you all stop? Could someone stick up for me? I didn't ask to be in this situation, I find myself. And, to that, nobody really has a solid answer. It's tough. I mean, they're trying to make a TV show, but it's like, other than Katie Maloney sticking up for Ariana Madix, everybody's just sort of neutral. Very challenging, I'd say, because the editors, I'm sure, really edited this pro Tom. Very challenging to produce this season. I'm not going to be too hard on the cast or the production because this is a very difficult situation to navigate and to make good TV. And everybody is going to be made into a villain that has to shoot with Tom Sandoval, and they have to do it. They don't have a choice if they want to stay on the TV show. That's how you get fired. The producers are like, you need to go be Tom Sandoval's friend. And you're like, I don't want to be Tom Sandoval's friend. He's a loser. And you say no, and you're like, I don't want to be represented like that. And they're like, great, see you later. You're not on the show this season. Especially on this show, the producer on this one really knows how to dangle the carrots. All right, so here's the questions I want to ask you at the end of my show tonight. I want to know, is it pissing you off that Brock is the one bringing out all the hard questions and details? Is that bothering you? That's number one. Number two, what the hell is everybody wearing on their neck? Number three, is any comments on the gossip I brought up earlier in the show before the recap? How do you feel about what Katie did to Tom Schwartz? How do you feel about Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix at this point? Are you okay with the way the edit's happening? What's happening with Lala and James Kennedy? They're kind of off to the side, which is unusual for them. So let me know. I want to hear it all. I will read them. All right, you guys, please make sure you hit the live tab and see Kim D in my live that we did. It was so good. The last 4, you could watch them and you'll still get New Jersey tea that isn't out there, generally speaking. Also, the podcast tab, I put a percentage of my shows in there for you to sample so you can see what my deep dives are like, and the Patreon where I cover everything, not just reality TV. And of course, subscribe, and hit the notification button. I really appreciate it. Okay, big kiss. Have an awesome night. Oh my gosh, it's so late. I gotta go. Bye.